Have you ever heard of this before? Volume multiplied times time equals skill. Think about that. Volume, the amount of times that you do a repeated activity, an income producing activity. The more volume, the more times you cold call, the more times you make contacts with leads, the more times you follow up on leads, the more times that you post ads, the more times that you do all the things, make the TikTok videos, the more that you do, the volume, the sheer volume of input that you do, multiplied times the time that you do it, increasing your time instead of just 10 minutes a day, 15, instead of 15 minutes a day, 100 minutes. And then the volume times the time, increase the time, and that equals skill. So, one thing that's really cool, today is my day 63 of my Alex Hormozi, 100 days to 100K. And Alex Hormozi says that if you want to aspire to be someone who is doing well in this online space, find out what that person's doing each day and then double it. Double your efforts on top of their efforts. I mean, obviously, people who are really scaling their businesses, they are committing themselves to doing the hard thing, no matter if they're tired, no matter if they're busy, no matter if they're exhausted. I mean, I've been absolutely exhausted the past couple days, but I love my business partner because she's like, well, you still have to do the thing. And she's right, because if I want anything to ever change, I have to do the thing. So I can't just only do 10 minutes of crafting an email to send out in my newsletter. I need to up that ante. I need to make it 15 minutes. And guys, you could find time. You can find time on your lunch break. You can find time when other people are doing a smoke break. Whatever break everybody's allowed to take. Take that 10 minutes. It could be answering DMs. It could be just doing all the things, guys. You can sneak little bits of time here and there, even during your 9 to 5. So don't think that this is overwhelming. I know that I like Rachel Peterson says that she does a 10, it's like a big 10 power grab type of thing where she sets aside 10. Everything's in powers of 10. So she tells herself, okay, I could do 2 more, 3 more, 4 more, and she makes it to 10, and then she's like, okay. And that way, if you're a busy mom, if you're a busy dad, if you're working a couple extra jobs, like, just make tiny little measurable goals for yourself that you can hit, because making them too ridiculous, then you're never ever going to make it to a goal. So let's just say that quote one more time. Volume times time equals skill. So you're just going to naturally become better at something that you dedicate yourself to. One day I was sitting in a doctor's office down in Orlando, Florida. I was waiting on the girl that I was going to be tutoring. Her dad was a doctor. And I'm sitting next to this very, very tall man. Oh my goodness, he was so tall. And we were just chatting away, and he was the friendliest fella. And I asked him what he did for a living, because he asked what I was there for. I said, oh, I'm going to be teaching Meredith. I'm her teacher, and her dad hired me to be her tutor. She was having some problems with science. And he was like, oh, that's really interesting. I said, what do you do? He says, I play a little basketball. And I was like, oh, that's nice. I said, that's a lot of fun. I actually played basketball in 5th grade. I was the tallest girl in 5th grade. I'm the shortest person, actually, of all my people. I'm only 5 foot high, but I was the tallest girl in 5th grade. at the beginning of the year. And so they asked me to be on the basketball team. And then after the third month, I was the shortest girl in fifth grade, and they asked me to stop. I was not good at it. But this man, he was nice looking young man. He told me he was pretty good at it. And so we just talked, and he said, but I wasn't good at it at first. I had to keep on working. Like everybody just kept saying, you got to do this, you got to do that. And his friends wanted him to go play, but he was like, no, I have to do this. I have to get better at it. And, that made me think that was really true. He said he just got really good at playing basketball. And then the doctor, Dr. Ackerman, comes around the corner and he was like, oh, Miss DeCanio, because I was DeCanio back then. He was like, I see that you met Michael. And I was like, oh, yeah, this guy's a really nice fella. And he looked at me kind of like funny. And he was like, Michael, did you tell Mary who you were? And he goes, oh, yeah, I introduced myself. And he said, Mary, did you introduce yourself to Michael Jordan? And I was like, oh, yeah, he's a super nice guy. I didn't understand anything about basketball, and I didn't know who I just met. Nicest fella ever. Michael, if you're watching, do you remember me? We sat on that pastel couch. Now that I know what a big deal you are, I like your book. Have a great day, guys. Don't forget, you have to do it. You have to make sure that you are putting in countless time, because the more that you dedicate time to and practicing, keep on practicing income producing activities, it is going to increase your skill level. Michael Jordan didn't get really good at basketball without practice. So don't expect to come into this online space and all of a sudden think that you know what you're doing. You can't. You have to look at what the other people who have gone before you, who are successful, are doing, and then model them. Model that behavior. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day and a happy new year.